Let me welcome Ruchit Jain. He's equity technical analyst at Angel Broking. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Jain. I understand that one of your picks is Bajaj Auto, and I was just looking at the charts there. Looking very strong, but it would require a little bit of work for it to make that breakout, right? Would you wait for that breakout or take a position right away?
Yeah, good afternoon. Overall, the stock has been in a strong uptrend. We can see that the stock is almost trading at its 52-week high levels. Even recently, we saw the stock had given a breakout from a falling, from a falling trend line resistance already. So I think one does not need to again cross those levels of 52-week high. The stock is already in a buy mode. The stock has potential to go up to 2740, 2750 in very short term. So I think for short term traders, this is one of the top picks wherein one should buy even at current levels in this stock. Keep a stop loss somewhere below 2625 and go long for target of 2750 in next 3-4 trading sessions.
All right. You also have Coal India. Now, if one looks at Coal India, clearly there is a series of resistances right here around the 318 rupee mark if one looks at it. So just about 5 rupees away from that resistance. But you would like to take a call. You think that it is there going to be a better return than that 318, 320 level?
This is one of the stock which we have been recommending for our short to medium term investors and not from just a short term trading perspective. Okay. As you rightly said, a minor resistance is there around this 320 zone. But I think 305, around 305, the stock has formed a strong base now. I'm not anticipating any move below 305 to go. So in case if stock corrects a bit in next 1 week and if it comes around 305, 310 range, I think one should look to go long in the stock at those levels. The stock has recently given a breakout after forming a base out pattern formation. So I think on a higher side, this small minor resistance of 320 would be taken out in near term, and the stock would head towards 335 levels. So buying should be done on dips around 305 to 310 range. Keep a stop loss below 295 for target of 330.
All right. You also have a call on BHEL. Now again, if one looks at the chart there, it's trading at about 128 odd. But if I look at the chart at about, again, 133 to 135, there are a string of resistances. In fact, some resistances even lower than that, around 130. But one does see a long candle forming, a kind of a bullish candle forming today. What would your target be? How long does one have to hold, and what is the stop loss here?
So along with the bullish pattern formation, we have seen that today's up move has been backed by very good volumes. In fact, last 15 to 20 trading sessions, the stock was consolidating in a range, and 115, 116 has been a strong support for the stock. Now, when the volumes have started coming in after the consolidation, from this consolidation range, definitely one should preempt this breakout of this recent resistance highs. So I think even though this resistance around 133, 34 is there, I am sensing a breakout of this range, and the stock probably should head towards at least towards 138 to 140 range. So keeping a stop loss below 122 rupees, one should go long in BHEL looking at the volumes and the price movement today for target of 138 to 140.
NTPC, another PSU, very strong. One can see a channel forming since the beginning of around the middle of February, an upward move that has been continuing, and now there has been this breakout after minor correction, but there has been a breakout. Again, what would your immediate resistances be? Will it be around that 160? I mean, you believe that this would cross out those range of resistances that we have around 159, 160?
Yes, the weekly charts of NTPC are quite interesting. If we just observe the weekly or monthly charts of the stock, then from December 2009, when the stock had hit a high of 205, since then it was continuously forming lower tops and lower bottoms. This is the first time that after sideways consolidation, the stock has again participated and started forming higher top, higher bottom. A falling trend line on the monthly charts has been breached, which means that the longer term trend for the stock, which was down since 2009, that has been changed now. So I think on the higher side, this 160, 165 zone may act as a resistance for short-term traders. But those who are looking to buy some stock from medium to long-term perspective, who have time horizon of perspective of 3 to 6 months, the stock has potential to go higher up to 175 levels once this 160 is broken. So at current levels or even on any kind of dips, if the stock comes again to 148, 150 range, one should use this. One should buy this stock from 3 to 6 months perspective.
Ruchit, just stay on with us. Markets have just closed. If you just look at the markets, 80 points higher for the Nifty, 8250 and 260 points higher for the Sensex. Jaiprakash Associates is up about 14%, Ambuja Cements down 0.3%, Subex Limited up 8%, GAIL down about 45 paisa or so. Ambuja Cements down 0.29%, Cipla down 0.2%, Wipro up about 1% or so. IndusInd Bank did well, up 1%, GAIL down about 0.1% or so. 384 for GAIL. IndusInd Bank 1.1% higher, Maruti up about 1.6%, Hero MotoCorp up about 0.68%, and ACC was up around 1% or so. Hero MotoCorp 0.6% higher. Of course, auto sales numbers would come out tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first day of the new month, so the June numbers would come out tomorrow. ACC is up about 1% or so. Bosch is down about 0.16%. Idea up about 1.5%, 106, 107. ICICI Bank 1.6% higher. As far as ICICI is concerned, ITC was up around 0.5%. ICICI Bank 240, 240.5. ITC 368, 369 towards close. Axis Bank had a good day, 3% higher, 533, 534 for Axis Bank. There was a report which came out from Credit Suisse regarding all the banking space, which mentioned that Axis Bank is a top pick. So maybe because of that, it was up around 3%. ONGC up 0.7%, 216 for ONGC. HDFC Limited up about 0.4%. So HDFC Bank was up 0.69. Bharti Airtel did well actually in the end. It's a heavyweight name. It's a name which has a lot of weightage onto the index, up about 2.9% to about 366.68. Yes Bank is up about 3%, 1,107. Since the results of Q4, this name has really not looked back. It's another new high today. It's trading at a live high at 1,107 rupees. Z Entertainment did pretty well. Another name which has since results done very well, up about 2.5%, 456, 11 to 12 rupees higher for Z Entertainment. BPCL also did well, up around 1.5% for BPCL. So that's also a name that has done particularly well. Oil marketing companies, as you call them sector-wise, these names have also done well.
And let's just take a look at some of those stocks that have had high volumes and have also done well today. So let's start off with Jaiprakash Associates, and it's up about 14% today. Second consecutive day of good returns on Jaiprakash Associates. In fact, in 1 week, JP Associates has given a 12% return, and in 1 month, 60% return. So very strong movement on JP Associates, up about, as I said, it closes about 12% up on the NSE. Subex Limited, Subhash plus Alex. Subex Limited is up about 8.5%. There's Indo Solar. It makes solar cells. That one is up about 6.5%. And let me tell you, Indo Solar has had a stellar performance in this last 1 week. 25% return in just 1 week on Indo Solar. Syntex and Industries has recovered all its losses of the week. 6.5% up. Strong volumes again. GMR Infra 5% up today. There is a particular trigger because this particular week GMR was down. It has recovered. Reliance Communication 5% up, third consecutive day of good returns on Reliance Communications. India Bulls Real Estate, we've been talking about that entire real estate pack doing extremely well. India Bulls Real Estate, second consecutive day of good returns on India Bulls Real Estate, about 5% up. Motherson Sumi Limited, we've been talking about how about the auto and auto ancillary pack doing well, 4.7% up. This has been a bad week actually, and it's a recovery today. for Motherson Sumi. It's mostly had on the 24th of June, that's the day of Brexit, Motherson Sumi lost 27% on a single day. So a bit of a comeback on strong volumes. We've been talking about GNFC, Gujarat Narmada Valley Fertilizer and Chemicals Company. That one has also gone up sharply today. And if you look at it, yesterday it had almost a 10% gain, and today GNFC gives you another 4%. So just in 1 week, it has given a 15% return. And if you had held this, bought this stock 3 months ago, you would have actually made almost 100% return. BHEL, we've been talking about it just a short while back. 1 week return of 4.3%. Therefore, at the beginning, till yesterday, it was not doing well. Today, it's on high volumes, taking 4.7% up in a single day. Opto Circuits India Limited, strong volumes. Not a stock everyone likes to hold, but in 1 month, Opto Circuits has given a return of 40%. DLF, again, big returns in this 1 week. Yesterday, it was 8% up. Today, again, DLF 5% up. In a single week, you've seen almost 10% return. In 1 month, you've seen 16% return. Pankaj, quite a good amount of movement on fertilizers, on real estate, and some of the auto ancillary companies.
Right, absolutely. So if I just try and look not only in volumes, but what essentially, apart from this was moving on not so mid cap and not so large cap names. So an Alembic Limited was up 6.5%. With about 1.2 million. Alembic Limited was up 6% with 1.2 million shares in terms of volume. So that's a good movement today. It's a 38 rupee name, Alembic Limited. That's up 6%, 38 rupees. Shriram Transport Finance did very well, 5% higher. It's not a very huge volume counter, but a very well-known name, a well-tracked name, 1203 as far as Shriram Transport is concerned. AIA Engineering, again, volumes were just 53,000, but 53,000 for AIA Engineering is quite high. 1,028, it was up around 5%. Grasim Limited, of course, it's a large cap name, but 4% move. 4% move for Grasim Limited. 2,70,000 shares over there. M&M Financial Services, again, it's a rural play sort of a company, 4% higher. And Bajaj Finance just continues to go up. Bajaj Finance, 8,000 rupees. For Bajaj Finance, 4% higher. It's a 8,000 rupee stock, and that's why volumes are just about 1.3 lakh shares. Jubilant FoodWorks was up 3.5%. Piramal, Dr. Reddy's, SAIL, Vedanta, and the list just goes on. We were talking to Ruchit. He's still with us. Ruchit, any view on Motherson Sumi? Again, it's had some rough time because of the Brexit, but now starting to recover.
Pankaj, I think overall, if you see the chart structure, then the stock has now started forming higher tops and higher bottom. Although on the day of the Brexit news order, the stock had given a good gap down opening, but we have not seen any kind of follow-up selling coming in the stock. The stock has even not breached its rising trendline support when the fall was there on closing basis during the day. So I think it's a positive for the stock that there is no follow-up selling in spite of the negative news coming in for the stock, which would lead the stock higher in short term. The near-term resistance definitely would come around 300 and 305 zone where the recent high was. But once that high is crossed, I think the stock could easily head towards 320 levels.
Right. As far as playing Motherson Sumi is concerned, how would you approach now? Okay, Brexit, the day it saw a gap down, one should have bought. But if one has not entered into it now, how should one approach it?
Yeah, so definitely those who have not entered, I think even at current levels, one can look to enter this stock. 270 needs to be the stop loss for this on fresh long positions. The positive thing is that in spite of that gap down opening, that was one of the day wherein the stock had seen a corrective move, but there was no follow-up selling after that. And in fact, even if you see today's trading session, then on the up moves, again, the volumes have started coming back. So I think some accumulation would take place even at current levels. The higher top, higher bottom structure would remain positive till the stock is above 270. So keep a stop loss below 270 and go long at current levels also. On the higher side, you can expect up to 320 in short term.
Right. As far as Jubilant FoodWorks is concerned, again from the levels of 980, which was the earlier low, since then that name has done very well.
Yeah, Pankaj, but if you see see the broader degree charts of this, then the stock is still forming this lower tops and lower bottoms formation. 1210 is a resistance for the stock, although this is a bit 3 to 4% up move from current levels. So those who are trading from short term perspective, definitely one can look to levels around 1210, but I don't think that the stock would immediately cross those levels and show a good uptrend of anywhere from here. So around 1210, 1220, if the stock comes, one should definitely look to exit from long positions over there. The major support range for the stock has now been based around a 950, 980 zone. So if anyone has already missed on to this low previous couple of days back or few days back, one should wait for corrective declines from 1210. When the stock comes around 950, 980, use that range as a buying opportunity.
How would you look at Yes Bank 1107?
This trend definitely remains resolutely up. We have seen a good strength in this counter in last 6 months, and as of now there are still no signs of reversal. We are not getting no major dips in the stock also, which is a sign that even at higher levels participants are looking to accumulate this stock with good volumes. So I think definitely for fresh buying, the risk reward will not be much in favor, but those who are already holding the stock from lower levels, they should continue to ride on. On the higher side, 1160, 1170 is quite possible in near term.
Right, but would you go ahead and look at something like a Axis, ICICI and think that it will play a catch up to Yes Bank?
Yes, amongst these names, Axis Bank looks quite attractive. The stock since last 3-4 months after the budget day has continuously formed higher tops and higher bottom. And after this corrective action of last week, I think now again the stock has started showing positive momentum. And even if you compare the volumes along with the price, then when the price was going up, the volumes were higher. And when the prices have consolidated or have corrected minorly, then again the volumes have come down. So that's a positive sign for the stock. I think one has to look from a positive perspective. And on the higher side, the stock has potential to go up to 560, which is quite decent even for short-term traders. So I think Axis Bank would continue to do well in near term.
Right, Ruchit. Thank you so much for taking out time for us. Hope you have a great day.